come to our final questions, two of the largest killers of human beings are heart attacks and strokes. Now, we know and has been admitted from the manufacturers that mRNA COVID vaccines add a percentage risk of these conditions. With these two pieces of information alone, it seems obvious that globally we are going to see a rise in deaths as a result of mass vaccination from mRNA vaccines. Do you find it strange that experts within the medical industry aren't particularly interested in what might be a catastrophic public health consequence from their COVID policies?
So you're absolutely right. There are excess deaths already happening around the world, and with the evidence that we have, at the very least, one can make a very strong case that the mRNA vaccines are a likely significant contributory factor, if not the main driver. Professor Norman Fenton in the UK has suggested 50% of the excess deaths in the UK can be directly and indirectly attributed to the COVID mRNA vaccines, or COVID vaccines in general, but mRNA are part of it. So that's quite clear. The question is, as you asked correctly, why are people not responding? Why are regulators and policymakers not responding? It's willful blindness, in my view. So this is a human psychological phenomenon, condition where people turn a blind eye to the truth in order to feel safe, avoid conflict, reduce anxiety, and to protect prestige and fragile egos. I think, again, trying to understand the psychology of it, people, and this isn't right, but it's trying to understand it, is that accepting now something that they have also taken. Most of these people who are pushing these vaccines or in public policy have taken the vaccine themselves, but also to try and psychologically accept that what they have done has likely caused, unwittingly, not deliberately, significant harm to people, including death, is probably emotionally very traumatic. And so traumatic to even think about, it's better to turn a blind eye and bury your head in the sand and just not even look at it and ignore it. And that's what's happening.
Well, finally,
it's not good enough. It's their job. They have to be accountable. That's, as doctors, if we are taught as part of our training, as part of being a good doctor, if you make a mistake, you own up to it, you apologize if you need to apologize, you explain things to patients. Patients are very forgiving if they believe and think you've acted from a place of honesty, integrity, and good faith. The longer they ignore this clear data of significant, as you're absolutely right, it is catastrophic. It is beyond catastrophic what's happening, Alexandra. Mistakes were made, but the cover-up, and that's what appears to be the case right now, willful blindness, whatever else, in my view, is worse than the crime.
Well, I think that's what people are asking for. They'd like an apology, not just for the sake of apology, but so that the record is set straight over what the correct behaviour and practices should be if this were to happen again. And one final question, you are known for changing your position on what has become an extremely dangerous topic within the medical community and one that has been subject to wide-scale censorship. Do you think the rest of the industry has the courage to join you as the evidence continues to pile up that perhaps the COVID narrative is not what we thought it was regarding how we should treat it?
Well, I think it's happening, Alexandra, anyway. So I've had lots of support from doctors. Some of them are willing to speak out. Many are willing to just give me private support behind the scenes and tell me to keep going. And they are then trying to spread the message. So absolutely, this is growing. Of course, there will be an element of backlash. I'm sure, in fact, it's not hidden knowledge that certainly look on social media. From what I've seen, a number of doctors, most of them anonymous, have complained to, for example, the General Medical Council about me or whatever else, saying I should be investigated. But I think that, we also have to have compassion and empathy for those people because they were lied to, right? By Pfizer, probably by Moderna, and they believe they were doing the right thing. They are living in a bubble of misleading information, which they believe to be completely true. This was safe and effective. It saved millions of lives. It doesn't cause any significant harm. And therefore, from their perspective, being in that bubble, you can understand why they may see that what I'm doing is potentially harmful to public health. So let's have some compassion for those people. And they were trying to do the right thing, but they have been deceived in a massive way. But the truth is getting out there. More and more people are being aware. And certainly when I presented evidence, like, for example, in Adelaide and James Mukey came to, people are willing to just sit down for an hour and just listen. almost invariably, Alexandra, and I've spoken all around the world when doctors are there, even in India, at a grand round at one of India's most prestigious hospitals, where they didn't know what they were going to get. The doctors there, 200 doctors, fully with the narrative, pro-narrative of the vaccine, they were turned completely by the end of my talk and said, what can we do about it? So the evidence is clear. These people need to sit down and open their eyes.